Former President Donald Trump making another campaign stop in Wisconsin next week, this time in Racine. It comes after he made headlines over his comments about Milwaukee in a closed-door meeting with Republicans this week. CBS 58's Emilee Fannon, WisPolitics editor J.R. Ross get into the details on tonight's Capital Connection.
We begin this week with the latest at Milwaukee Public Schools, and we start with the school board approving a $1.5 billion budget. And some are questioning, well, why'd they have to do this in wake of their financial crisis? The reason that we heard from school board members is basically they had to do this so they can operate, so they can pay staff and prepare for the next school year. But there are likely going to be possible future cuts from the district, or the state could maybe withhold more money from them. And there could be likely amendments to their state budget after they were overpaid roughly $30 to $50 million in the last budget. So that's something to watch out for. And this comes after a series of departures at MPS. We saw the loss of the superintendent, the CFO, the comptroller. There's a lot of vacant positions with the financial office as well. And now we have a grassroots group seeking to recall 4 school board members. Take a look at your screen right now. These are the 4 individuals who are being targeted, ranges from the president, the vice president, and other individuals. But the recall is going, you know, it's a big effort. It's a big haul. There's thousands of signatures that have to be collected. So that's something to watch for. But in midst of all this that we want to talk about is that Governor Tony Evers, I spoke to him earlier this week about MPS, and what he was pretty critical of DPI, given that they've known for 8 months about MPS. But it's, you know, some say that you've talked to this week, JR, that it's not really his responsibility to do something about MPS.
No, but he's being more aggressive about MPS than he is about corrections. And remember, last week we saw charges against prison officials, guards at Waupun in Wisconsin. Noteworthy, the governor is moving forward with the audit that he wants to do, hiring these outside folks to go look at MPS, and not just the finances, but the classroom performance. Contrast that with corrections. He asked the sheriff in Dodge County, keep your investigation open. There's a federal probe going on. There's an internal probe going on. The governor's not been as vocal about that as MPS, whereas, again, corrections, that's under his purview. That is his administration. They oversee Waupun. MPS, yeah, kind of, you know, maybe wash up his shoes a little bit, but that's a separate entity. But look how more aggressive he's being, talking about the mistakes he thinks that public instruction has made, talking about this audit. This is his wheelhouse. He's an education guy, former state superintendent, former local educator. This is where Tony Evers feels comfortable talking and navigating versus corrections, which is not quite really his comfort zone.
Our next topic is about the former president making a lot of headlines in the past week over referring to Milwaukee as a horrible city. Now let's backtrack a little bit, because this was in a closed-door meeting with the House delegation. He went to D.C. the first time he's been there since being the president, and he was talking about, he later clarified that he was talking about Milwaukee crime and the elections in the city of Milwaukee. But that didn't stop from us hearing a lot of conflicting reports from Wisconsin's delegation that was in the room, also those who were not in the room saying it was a total lie. The reason we want to talk about this is because it's just pretty prominent, given that there's still a big question ahead whether the former president will be at the RNC, which of course is going to be in Milwaukee, because of his looming sentencing that will happen 4 days prior. So a lot of people are talking about that going forward.
Yeah, also we'll bring it up in Racine because next week. I mean, the former president can't help himself but say that we're fake news about everything that we do or report about that doesn't make him happy. So what's the tone he's going to set in Racine next week, and will that be a preview of what he's going to talk about if he's in Milwaukee come July for the convention? Is he going to take shots at Milwaukee, take shots at us? Will he try and clean it up, or say, yeah, I think Milwaukee's got problems? Now, don't forget, every time he talks about, this is about election integrity, we have not seen widespread fraud in Milwaukee. Yes, there are problems in how timely reporting things are, but there have been multiple audits and reviews of the 2020 election, and Donald Trump did in fact lose Wisconsin and lost in Milwaukee.
And right, that is our look ahead topic, because he'll be on Tuesday in Racine. He's coming back after holding a rally in Waukesha a few months ago. So likely themes, of course, probably going to talk about his horrible city comments and try to clean that up, but also reoccurring themes that he's talked about at many campaign rallies. We're talking about immigration, we're talking about health care and the economy.
Yeah, also we're starting to see a pattern. He was here in April, May, June, July, the convention, so I would guess you're going to see monthly, if not more, visits from Donald Trump, whereas Joe Biden's been here flooding the zone with, if not him, surrogates. Joe Biden was here this past week. More people are coming all the time, so it tells you again we matter a whole lot in the grand scheme of things.
We sure do. All right, that will do it for this week. Thanks so much.